Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. This is my favorite thing to make out of bismuth. It's like my signature product, actually, and so this is my best pour of the Ganesh out of it. So I've been holding onto this one for quite a few months now. But I thought I would do an interesting calculation. And one of my big dreams I have is that one day some of my bismuth will decay into gold. So I wonder what the probability of all of the atoms in this Ganesh turning into gold, let's say over the course of a year, is. And I'll let you pause the video to ponder about that before I do the calculation. Oh, here's the deal. Bismuth has a half-life of 2 times 10 to the 19 years, right? And it decays into thallium 205. But thallium 205 has a few more decays before it gets to gold 197, which is what you want. It turns out there are 3 alpha decays and 2 beta decays on the way there. The betas happen almost instantaneously, but the 3 alpha decays all have a half-life that's probably just as long as that 2 times 10 to the 19 years. So in a given year, you have to clear 3 hurdles, right? You got a 1 in 2 times 10 to the 19 probability that bismuth is going to have 1 alpha decay, but you need 3 similar decays. So it's really this number raised to the 3, or 8 times 10 to the 57 power, right? Of 1 atom in that Ganesh decaying into gold, right? So, I've owned this bismuth for maybe 3-6 months. There's a good chance that there's no gold in that, unless it was like a contaminant in the beginning, right? The odds of any one atom in that Ganesh that starting with bismuth becoming gold is probably nil, right? There's probably thallium, but beyond that, the odds of there being anything else are probably very low, right? There's probably more than anything aside from bismuth. The second most common thing in there is probably going to be the lead 206 because there's background neutron radiation, right? So you got 8 times 10 to the 57, 1 in 8 times 10 to the 57 for one atom, any specific atom in there to become gold 197. But don't forget, this bismuth Ganesh has lots and lots of atoms, right? Let's suppose it weighs about 2 kilograms, uh, 2,000 grams. The atomic mass of bismuth is 209 grams per mole, right? So we got about 10 moles of bismuth in here. A mole is 6 times 10 to the 23 atoms, and each one of those has a 1 in 8 times 10 to the 57 chance of becoming gold in a given year. So now you got to raise this number to the power of 6 times 10 to the 24. If my calculator will even do that, it won't. But let me jot down what that looks like uh, in terms of math notation. You had 8 times 10 to the 57, and all of that needed to be raised to the power of 6 times 10 to the 24, right? And I'll let you think about that. I guess one way to estimate how big this number is if you take the log base 10 of it, right, to see how many digits it has, right, then it would become 6 times 10 to the 24 times whatever the log of this number is. This thing I think my calculator could handle. Here, let's do this calculation because I think the calculator could handle that. We need to go into scientific calculator. 8 times 10 to the 57. You take the log of this number, and then you multiply that by 6 times 10 to the 24. And you get this, how many digits is it? I guess we could take the log of this number to see how many digits. 26 digits. So almost a googolplex. So 10 to the 10 to the, this is roughly 10 to the 10 to the 26, right? So if I get it right, roughly 10 to the 10 to the 26. So not quite one in a googolplex, but getting up there, right? A lot less than one in a Google for sure, right? Obviously, the odds of bismuth one day being worth more than gold is far more than that, right? In our lifetimes, the probability that one day bismuth will be worth more than gold probably would be on a percentage, right? Not a one in a Google, not even one in a million, probably, right? Probably more like a percentage, right? The odds that the next time I pour a piece of art and I sell it for more than its weight in gold is probably also pretty high, right? The odds that I mingle with the right people because of my passion with bismuth art and have a good uh, connection and make good connect. For example, right now I'm living in an apartment that I found through a friend of a friend, in large part because I made a number of friends making art. Right, the odds of that happening and for me to then have good prosperity because of that is definitely far more than that and probably higher than the probability that bismuth will one day be worth more than gold, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum.